giving us this opportunity. I don't think it would be doing justice to try and cover the real state of our game within 2 minutes. But I can be as brief as possible and say football is trying to recover from a very sorry state, a sad state in the sense that over a number of years, it has gradually deteriorated. When we came in, it was really a shadow of what it was 40 years ago. I'm privileged in that I managed to play football and administer football in periods when it was the good times, and I've seen it also in the bad times. And I believe we're slowly getting it out of that, deplorable state that it had gone to. Why do I say that? I say this because I believe over the years, the laws that have been applied in the country have negatively affected the sport. 40 years ago, the taxation on football was minimal. Players that belonged to my club were all able to afford houses, from money that they were earning in the game. I come back today, and I think every single club is struggling, except maybe those that have money from alternative routes. But we're still with the impact on the players. 40 years ago, you had interesting players who were developed in this country. I won't mention George Shire or Sheki Tauro or anybody like that. Why was this? This was because it was attractive. There was, a player could actually go and earn money from soccer. Today, if you want to do that, you've got to leave this country and either go and develop your football in the UK or South Africa. To me, that just speaks to the point that somewhere our laws need to be realigned. And as I speak right now, when I say taxation, I'm actually talking about the money that's extracted from football. In a soccer team, and I think we're lucky, we've got two senior guys who control teams here. Any team, when they go and play in a stadium, they're being extracted. The council takes 20%. SRC takes 6%. ZIFA takes 6%. PSL takes 9%. Accumulatively, already you're just shy of 50%. That's before they've even paid for the referees, the medical expenses, security, the police also.
Can I just interject, Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
You said you saw state of football in a deplorable state. Is that correct?
Correct.
And normalization committee is coming into, as the word says, normalize. And you are right now in your speech complaining about the taxation of local clubs.
Correct.
What have you done? Is ZIFA Normalisation? Did you forfeit your 6% and say we're taxing these people too much, so we're not going to take 6% as the Normalisation Committee?
No. Where my discussion point is coming from is basically to say, look, this is not only a ZIFA matter.
Yes, but
This is
a
a collective matter where it requires all the stakeholders.
Can I ask you a simple question, Chairman?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a ZIFA matter, but ZIFA has got a normalization committee. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you are there to bring sanity to supposedly an insane world.
Correct.
And you saw that there's insanity in taxation, and you're still taking your 6% from these clubs.
No.
So you're not taking your 6%.
To be very frank with you, when we were there 40 years ago, ZIFA would attend to every single game, and they would ensure that the money coming through the gates is as is. Today, you hardly see anybody from ZIFA at any game. We just wait whatever they want to give us as PSL, fine. So to me, what I'm basically saying is...
My question, Mr. Mutasa, There's the normalization committee. It's a very simple question. I'm going to allow you to land to finish your brief. But I just want to know, you are already complaining that our clubs are heavily taxed. The taxation is not fair. Is that correct?
Correct.
A statement I absolutely love, coming from the chairman of ZIFA. And I'm sure all the clubs who are watching us live are smiling. I'm saying, on top of that, ZIFA, seeing this insanity, still goes on to take that 6%. That you know you're milking a dead cow. So you're still taking that 6%.
Okay.
That's my question.
All right. You asked me about the state of the soccer in the country. I was trying to be as honest as possible, but some of these things that you're asking us to have taken are really beyond our mandate. We were restricted to a mandate of 60 points, which was to actually get soccer back into the country, into the international, into family of nations. And we follow that. But it doesn't mean that I'm not observing areas that need attention. You asked me a genuine question, and I was trying to give you a genuine response. Still, okay, even if we leave it, now if we had to leave, if we had gone with the end of the tenure last month, it doesn't mean that we had not seen what is wrong. And to me, I don't think there's any better person for me to express this than to the lawmakers.
Okay.
There's no point me telling it to the press.
Okay.
To you, the lawmakers, it makes a lot of sense.
Mr. Mutasa. So what have you done with the state of football in Zimbabwe? Because if you are still taking your 6% from the clubs that you think yourself as the chairman are heavily taxed, you said it, I was listening attentively. So you actually think it's unfair on the Zimbabwean clubs. But you, as the new ZIFA Normalization Committee, is doing the same thing that the other ZIFAs that were coming before you, and you were saying they put this institution in a deplorable state. So what have you done? I spoke about a brief. Tell us, what have you done to resuscitate and rescue a decaying institution?
Okay, we've not done anything as yet, because that really is beyond our
How long
mandate.
have you been in office?
12 months.
And you've not done anything yet?
Yes, beyond our mandate. Our mandate was very
What is
specific.
your mandate?
Our mandate was actually to run the affairs of ZIFA, to reconstruct ZIFA, the Congress, redo the the Constitution, or align it to other member states and FIFA.
So you are telling the committee of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the parliament, that your mandate was not to normalize football. Is that what you're saying? Because you're saying it's not our mandate.
No. I'm saying
Yeah.
we had specific tasks
Yes.
that we were addressing.
Yes.
And those specific tasks were the 6. I can read them for you.
Please, with pleasure.
Basically, run the affairs of ZIFA, to restructure the ZIFA administration, to come up with an MOU agreement between the ministry and SRC with ZIFA. This was to tackle the issue of sexual harassment, to review the ZIFA statutes, electoral code, so that it complies with ZIFA statutes and the other member states, and ensure its adoption. 5 was to act as an electoral committee to organize elections for a new ZIFA board. And finally, it was to ensure proper financial handover to the new ZIFA board.
Professor Benson. Thank you, Honorable Chair. I just want to seek clarity from Mr. Mutasa. Are you telling us that you are not the real ZIFA? You are only mandated to do certain or to cover certain areas, not to partake into the full responsibilities of ZIFA or ZIFA board? Are you also telling us that we don't have any ZIFA board here? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The Normalization Committee acts as one in place of the ZIFA board, as well as even the Congress. Because for now, all those bodies are not functional. Our duty has been to reconstitute that Congress, as well as ensure the election of the executive board, the ZIFA board. When I say there are things that we've not done, it's basically, how can I put it, when we were working on the finances, for instance, I'll give you an example. We came into ZIFA when there was no accountant. They disappeared. The computer had crashed, or we were told it had broken down. We have had to reconstitute those accounts. To me, I'm looking at that and saying that this is really a fraction of what ZIFA should have been earning. Why do I say that? Because I know ZIFA are no longer going to the grounds. They're no longer representative at all the other grounds. We had a situation 40, 50 years ago when every single game that was being played, ZIFA would have a representative at those grounds. So to me, whether we're collecting that 6% or not, I don't think it's really reflective of the revenue that ZIFA potentially could have earned.
Honorable Nyampinga and then Honorable Chuma.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chairman, Normalization Committee, vari kuti board hapana, ndo vachidi varipo izvezvi. Vari kuti Congress vakanzi vagozoiconstituta. Apa vari kudzoka futi voti isusu yedu mandate ndeiyi chete. Ko idzi mandate dziri kuitwa nani kwedzi at the moment?
Mandate dzipi?
Hatimati imimi muringoti nationalization committee members. Mukati mimi nationalization committee ine mandate dzaizamama kuverenga. Mukabvunzwa imimi nachair kunzi ko board 6% yeboard kana kuti board riripo here. Mukati imimi isusu zvedu ndeizvi chetezvo. Kuti mazodzoka kuti mukati takanzi ticonstitute Congress. Ndisu tiripo zvinezvi representing the board. Saka you are all in one. Saka mufanirwa kudaira mibvunzo yese iri maringe nezvesifa.
Okay. Pakatwasika ipopo and ndipo kani sinazo. Maybe the way they answer was not as accurate as it should have been. What I'm basically saying is our attention has been to other areas, not saying that's something that we shouldn't tackle. And to me, I'm appealing to this place. Look, it's actually a collective decision that we, as all the stakeholders, have to identify that look, football is no longer just for recreation. And all the stakeholders we sit down and say, oh man, even if we take the 6% off, there's still a lot of revenue that's being extracted from the game.
Order, Chair.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I'm kindly asking Mr. Mutasa to answer the question rather than to try to sidestep by talking about a lot of other issues. Can you please stick to the point that the chair has raised? What have you done so far for football? Rather for you to come with a lot of semantics and try to explain that we have 6 points. We want to know what you have done, because we have your committee has had its mandate extended recently, meaning that probably whoever is extending the mandate is seeing that you are doing something. We want to hear what you have done for football. Yet you are telling us that it has been in a deplorable state. We want to see or hear what you have done. Thank you.
Thank you. I think before you answer, I think Professor Honorable Ben has just landed exactly where I wanted to land. This is what our question is. We're beginning, and Honorable Chuma is going to come in. And okay, we'll come to you in another day. But our question is very simple, Mr. Chairman Mutasa. You have been in the ZIFA Normalisation Committee for the past 4 months, right? Zimbabwean football. Is that correct?
Correct?
And your task was to normalize the supposedly insane situation. Is that correct? Is that correct?
It's very correct.
What have you done?
Thank you. Are we going to get Honorable Chuma's question?
No, I'm the chairman.
Okay.
You answer. I'll go to.
What we have done, first of all, on the issue of the finances, we have reconstituted those finances, and for 2021, 2022, as well as 2023, and I think most of them are almost at the stage of being audited. That's one aspect. We have also reconstituted the ZIFA administration. When we came in, we just had one TD. Right now, the technical department is fully functional with the full complement of coach educator, referee desk, women's desk, all those things. That's the second part. On running the affairs of ZIFA, when we came on board, immediately we were tasked to organize the national team, which had to play the inauguration of His Excellency. We were able to put up a team quickly. And up to now, all the challenges, despite the challenges of not having a stadium to play on, we've managed to raise a team which has represented the country very well. Okay, we've lost here and there, but it has not been for lack of trying on the part of the coaches or the players. What else have we done? We've not restricted it just to the national team. We've even gone to the under 15s. The under 15s were able to play in a regional tournament here. What is it? The African Schools Tournament under 15s, and they did very well, both the boys and the girls. With our girls, we've also brought them back playing football. I think they were involved in South Africa, and we've also...
Chairman, let me just interject. I'm not pleased by the way you're answering our questions. Let me ask another question. Okay. I'm not pleased at all. Do you know what is called PSL?
Premier Soccer League.
Are they in action as we speak? Are they playing? Like, is it in season?
Yeah.
How many times have you attended PSL matches?
I've not attended any matches.
You've never attended PSL matches? You're a ZIFA Normalisation Committee Chairman.
I've attended the ladies' matches.
I'm asking you about PSL men's soccer team.
I haven't attended any.
Jesus. Honorable Chuma, come in.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and my apologies for coming later. I didn't realize that was starting at half 10 until now. I thought we were starting at 11. But anyway, Chairman, I think, Honorable Chairman, I think to make the normalization committee's task easy, before me here is the amended letter that they were given by FIFA.
Mm.
So for us to go through their mandate, coming to your question to say, what have you done? There have got 6 points.
Mm.
And I would have loved, Chairman, if they could come to each point and tell us. Like, for example, point number 1 says, your mandate is to run the daily affairs of ZIFA. What you would on the daily affairs of ZIFA, what have you done and how have you done it? Talk for right now. Second mandate is to restructure the ZIFA administration. And it might when we answer each other that way, then the chances are good. I didn't mean my issue just to come and normalize and pass on. So we want to know that the mandate that you've been given, are you following it point by point? The third point is that to establish with the help of FIFA a collaboration agreement between the Ministry of Sports, the SRC and FIFA. Those are not to see. Then to review the different statutes and electoral code to ensure that the compliance with the FIFA statutes and requirements, and to ensure that their adoption by the ZIFA Congress. Because right now, for example, you as the normalization committee are actually allowing something that has been going on wrongly. PSL, according to the ZIFA constitution, unless if you amended it or you've ratified it, does not recognize PSL. The ZIFA constitution recognizes individual clubs. I know all that. And what have you done about that to rectify that and correct it? Because you are a normalization committee that must come in and normalize things that are not what? Normal. So if we had to follow what you did, your mandate, my APABI on these 6 points, the other point was to act as an electoral committee in order to organize and conduct elections of a new ZIFA board. Right now, as we speak again, the ZIFA constitution says a PSL must have 16 clubs. But right now, today, 18 clubs. So that the 2 clubs, the China saying election. How are you going to conduct that? These are the kind of things that we thought that you, as a normalization committee, you come into what? To normalize them. But those are not
Honorable Chuma, read the first mandate.
Right. The first mandate says to run the daily affairs.
That's where we are. Thank you, Honorable. That's where we've not even gone to number 2 or number 3. We are on number 1. I have the chairman here who has been running Zimbabwean football. Chairman, do you know how popular football is? We are politicians, all of us here. And we want to educate you. Do you know how popular football is? The question.
When I was a player, people used to get up in trees Rufaro to try and watch us.
Do you understand that football has got political connotations in this country? When people are not happy, it affects us politically. Are you aware? Yes or no?
In a way, yes.
And Honorable Chakukura, just ask a question before I finish, because you asked me a question. I said you should ask it yourself.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to know why haven't you attended one of the PSL meetings?
Okay. We've had a lot of things to do, but what we have actually done is when we set up as the NC, each one of us was tasked to a different area. And I gave the responsibility for the technical to Mr. S.K. Skumbuzondebe. So he's the one who will go to
Point of order, Chair. We are asking about the chair attending the matches, specifically the ZIFA chair, not anyone else, not the office. Thank you.
Why haven't you attended? I think it's basically been priorities at the time.
So
I've been prioritizing other aspects of the business as opposed to actually going twice again. I was invited 2 or 3 times, but I just couldn't make it those days.
you actually have invitations.
Yeah,
from
invitations,
PSL.
yeah.
And you've never attended.
Unfortunately, not yet.
Secretary General Manu, how many games have you attended?
A couple of them,
A couple of them.
yes, including some Division 1 games.
Including some Division 1 games. And what have you learned from our local football? Still on the mandate number 1 that Honorable Chuma, which is the state of our football in this country.
I honestly believe there's a lot of potential that we're missing as a nation, as a people, and as ZIFA. I attended, I think the last game I attended was Black Rhinos and Scotland game. And it was interesting to watch the number of people that came to watch that game. It told me that people love football.
Tell me 2 players from Scotland.
I don't know their names for sure.
From the match you attended?
Yes.
What about from Black Rhinos?
I
And you're supposed to be the CEO of the local football of this country.
I am actually.
Who are the 2 players from Black Rhinos?
No, I don't know their names. I watched the game.
Are you surely the ZIFA that is supposed to be running our football? I am so shocked. Do we have a head coming? Honorable Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, for giving me this opportunity to ask the Chairman my question. Mr. Chairman, for ZIFA in accordance with the item number 1 on your mandate, yes. Yesterday I called you.
Correct.
To ask if you are aware of what is happening with other nations in as far as the issue of stadiums is concerned. Are you aware that to allow them to play the current matches
at home, the matches which are being played. I ask you if you are aware of that one and you were not aware of that. And it's for the obvious reason which you have pointed out that you don't have interest whatsoever in men's matches, in men's games. That's why you haven't attended one. Our country is in a serious problem, which the honorable members here described as cancer. Because as part of your mandate, what were you expecting is, after seeing such an article, was for you as ZIFA to write to CAF, because we have got stadiums in this country which can qualify to have matches played. One, we have got that stadium, because you should have been the first person to approach CAF to say, no, we have seen what you have done to Malawi. We are part of you. We are also your babies. What are you doing to Zimbabwe? We have got that stadium which qualifies. Even as far as I'm concerned, to invite FIFA so that